Hi everyone, this is Rick, and welcome to Astral Club. Recently, I had a request for some more instruction in the basics of doing astral projection. As you know, my purpose for this channel, and indeed the very core of my purpose here on Earth, as I believe it, is to help folks astral project because I believe that this talent is an inherent talent that all humans have that somewhere along the line we lost, perhaps as we settled down into cities and became more immersed in the physical world. So, what I've produced here, for those who remember back to your student days, is essentially an astral projection cheat sheet. Now, for those of you who are compulsive note takers, please chillax. I'm going to have the entire cheat sheet in the description, so if you're so disposed, you can always just copy and paste. So let's get into it. The first step in learning to astral project, I find, is to immerse yourself in astral projection. You have to think about astral projection. You have to dream about astral projection. You should talk about astral projection. It should be a topic that is uppermost in your mind, because then this information will begin to seep gradually down into the subconscious mind, which we need to get on board in order for this process, this ability, to truly get started. What are some of the ways you can do that? Well, as I've said in the past, reading non-fear based books by folks who I know for a fact astral projected, like Robert Monroe, writer of the Journeys Out of the Body book and several others. Sylvan Muldoon, that's Sylvan Muldoon, The Projection of the Astral Body, and D. Scott Rogo's Leaving the Body, and others. The key here is, as I said before, to read books that are positively focused and not unduly influenced by fears, because fear is something which we must manage in order to astral project. And I've mentioned this before, and indeed, it was a topic of one of my videos. The next step is to watch non-fear based videos, perhaps ones that you find here on Astral Club and others. Next, keep your phone by your nightstand and record your dreams when you awake. And I'm talking about all dreams. Your regular dreams, your lucid dreams, those are dreams that you actually are controlling because you're conscious within the dream. False awakenings, which is something that you'll learn about as you explore more into this topic. A false awakening is a curious thing. You remember having perhaps an astral experience, and you could have swore that you woke up and read your dream into your phone voice recorder. But when you wake up in the morning, you find that there's nothing there. Essentially, what happened was when you returned to your body, you were not quite inside your body at that point, yet you were so close to it that you felt very physical. So, in essence, your astral self read your experience into the astral version of your phone, which is nice, but it's not going to help you when it comes time to turn on your physical phone. The next thing that I used, and I developed this myself quite extensively as a child when I grabbed a book on self-hypnosis. And I thought that perhaps that would be useful in helping to increase my astral projections. It's in essence a self-visualization. So what I would do as I fell asleep at night, I would visualize these actions as I said the words to myself. And I would repeat these few sentences over and over and over again, visualizing them happening at the same time until I fell asleep. And I'll read to you now what I developed back then. Tonight, as I fall asleep, my mind will come awake. I will leave my body. I will go where I wish to go, do what I wish to do, and when I return, I will awake and have a full memory of everything that occurred. Now, after every few weeks of this routine, what I'd like you to do, especially if you feel like you've hit a wall, is give yourself a break from astral projection. Take off a week. Don't think about it. Do something else. The last thing we want to do is to make this process unpleasant. Because if your subconscious starts associating astral projection with things that are pedantic and off-putting and a chore, you're going to be sabotaging yourself. So please, the last thing I want here are fanatics. Give yourself a break every few weeks. And don't feel guilty about it because it's something that you need. It's why we need to take vacations. It's why if we continue to work, and never take a day off or a vacation, our work life suffers, our productivity suffers. And that's the physical. The same thing will happen when you're trying to astral project. Don't make it into a chore. This is something that is an adventure, something that we are going to enjoy together. So the last thing you want to do is make it unpleasant. Now, those are some very basic activities, which in and of themselves, any one of them or together, can help get you started. However, I also have a meditation here for those of you who enjoy meditating. And perhaps this will be a way for you to set up the circumstances that you need to A, hopefully project, or at least B, start reaching that subconscious mind. And when you meditate, sometimes you can tell you're reaching the subconscious at some point because there's a bleed through. You've got your conscious thoughts, they're calming, they're centering, and then weird thoughts, disconnected, illogical thoughts intrude, and that is your subconscious mind. That's not necessarily a bad thing, at least in this circumstance, because if the subconscious mind is intruding on your conscious meditation, then perhaps your conscious meditation is also intruding into your subconscious mind, which is what we want. Okay, so let's get started. Astral projection meditation. To start with, find a relaxed environment and sit or lay comfortably. You should not eat a large meal before starting this meditation, which is really true of any meditation. You don't want to be hungry, but you don't want to be full either. You don't, if you're thinking about your digestive system, if your stomach is upset, you're going to have a very difficult time astral projecting. So please eat very lightly, or be in a state where you haven't eaten for a while, but make sure that you're not hungry, that you've had enough water, that you're in a state where you can concentrate on what you're trying to accomplish here. If it's possible, you can lie down in your bed or sit in an armchair, whichever you find comfortable, whichever position you find the easiest to meditate in. Step one, we have to focus on your breathing. Control it. Take deep breaths in and out. use whatever breathing technique you typically use in meditation. If you don't have one, the most popular I'm aware of is to breathe in deeply through your nose and then exhale gradually through your mouth. You want to start shedding the thoughts of the day. You want your mind, at least your conscious mind, to begin emptying. There should be nothing on your mind except the sound and the feeling of your breathing. Soon you may start to feel strange. You may notice that your body's becoming numb or disconnected. You need to do the relaxed breathing until you get this feeling. It takes longer to begin with. If so, just lie there, and focus on clearing your mind and controlling your breathing. Now, once you've done this for around 20 minutes or so, you'll experience, or you should if you're on the right track, a heavy wave or a heavy blanket rolling over your body. You may even lose the awareness of your physical body. Let this happen, and don't get overly excited. Remember, controlling your emotions is extremely important in the process of astral projection. Any extreme emotions, extreme joy, extreme fear, anything like that can sabotage our efforts here. Now, the next step we're looking for is the infamous vibrational stage. This is where you start to shift your consciousness into a different vibrational frequency in order to project. This might be new to you, especially if you've never done this before. Now, experienced projectors many times will say they don't even experience vibrational phase. I generally don't anymore. As a matter of fact, I hadn't experienced it in so long that recently when I did, it felt like my bed was shaking up and down, like there was an earthquake. And even I was disturbed because I hadn't experienced it for so long. So keep in mind that it may be a little jarring. It may feel like somebody's shaking your bed. This is a positive sign. Remain calm. Feel your body start to vibrate and shimmer. Don't panic. Can't say that enough. Try and stay focused. Let the vibrations pass over you. Don't move. Don't try to think about anything. Now, once this is settled in and you're at the vibrational stage, you can start exercising your willpower. Now, anyone who's followed along with my comments on Reddit, on Astral Club, what have you, whenever I use the word will, I capitalize it. I do that because I want to emphasize that word. Your will is what controls everything on the astral. Yes, in the physical, you need your will because it gets things started. You will to walk outside. So you have the thought, you have the will, you get up out of the chair, your muscles move, and they're commanded by the brain, and you go outside, and that's how you move. But in the astral, there only is the will. The pure, unadulterated, fixated will is what controls the entire process. So that is what we must continue to focus on. Now, there are several ways to do this, and it's down to you to find the way that works best for you. The next step is visualize yourself moving without moving. I know that can be a difficult thought, and it is. Unfortunately, there's no better way to describe it. This is where the astral projection techniques come into play. You need to lift yourself into a new relaxed state and out of your physical body. Some common methods are to imagine your hand contracting and closing without it actually moving. Focus on the feeling until you can almost see or feel your hand move. Imagine the hand moving up slowly and try to see and feel this all while keeping your eyes closed and focusing on your breathing. Another way is to imagine a bar or a rope above you as you lie or sit, and visualize your hand reaching out to grab it. Really focus and try to feel the movement. Just reach out with your astral body and grab that rope. Others like to float out of their body, either upwards or sinking downwards. I've done all of these. One of my favorites, as you may be aware, is my roll out of bed method. Don't try to control the roll, just hit the floor. I promise it won't hurt. And this is my famous roll out and get the hell out method. In this method, I used to roll out of my bed as a child sometimes and fall on the floor. So it was just something natural for me to adapt to actually leaving my body in the astral. Now, as I said with the roll out and get the hell out, if that works for you, great. But remember, the get the hell out part is important. You can glance quickly, if you must, at your physical body lying on the bed. If you're vibrating at the proper frequency, you'll be able to see your body there briefly. But do not fixate on it, because if you do, you will lose your astral projection and you'll be drawn back inside. So as I've said before, you must get quickly away as quickly as possible, because your main goal now is to go where you wish to go, do whatever you wish to do, and upon your return, to awaken and remember everything that occurred to you while you were out. That is the basic process of an astral projection meditation. I purposely made it so it is not unduly complex. I know there's some very complex guided meditations out there. However, this process does not need to be unduly complex. It has worked. It has worked for me. It has worked for others. Perhaps it will work for you as well. Lastly, I want to introduce another way to astral project, which I have mentioned before, and is going to be the basic topic of next week's Astral Club video. This is the mild, M-I-L-D, lucid dreaming and galantamine supplementation method of astral projection. I've got it listed here on the cheat sheet, but I'm not going to get into it at this stage, because this is a video all itself. And the whole process was developed by Dr. Stephen LaBerge, writer of many books, but one of my favorites is Lucid Dreaming. Now, he is a doctor, a very intelligent man, but as scientists are, he's very physically oriented. He believes everything is essentially lucid dream related, and that astral projection is just a cousin of, or just really the same experience. Now, naturally, I disagree with him, and I have plenty of reasons to justify disagreeing with him, in that I believe astral projection and lucid dreaming are very different. However, he is a scientist who has devoted his career to exploring lucid dreaming, and I respect him for doing this. And that's why I'm going to devote an entire episode next week on using his technique, because lucid dreaming is another gateway to astral project. So, and it's certainly deserving of its own video. So that's what we're going to do next week. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this will be useful. As I said, I'm going to have this in the description. So if you're interested, you can certainly copy and paste this cheat sheet and keep it somewhere for your reference. I'd like you to like this video if it was helpful to you. If it's something that you think you could share with someone, please do so. If you have not subscribed yet, I would very much appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so that you'll be notified whenever I have a new video. That's it for this week, and as always, I will see you on the astral plane.